Good morning. It's July 11th and it's a Sunday morning. Really nice this morning. It's a little cooler than normal, maybe, or I don't know, maybe it's too early and it hasn't turned hot yet. It's starting to get hot. I feel hot. But I just wanted to show you the pumpkins today. Yesterday, Jason and I trimmed all these shoots that were coming out, so hopefully we've stopped the growth. But every time we come to the garden, this guy gets a little bit bigger. It's very exciting. We do have some pumpkins along this stem, but we cut that stem at the end too. And I pollinated this girl this morning, and there's a couple more flowers coming along this vine, but we also have some pumpkins here. There's one little pumpkin down there. I think this one got pollinated. I think that one got pollinated. There's one down here, but I don't think that one got pollinated. It looks like it didn't. They're almost instantly huge once you pollinate them. But yeah, this bed, the pumpkin bed, is looking pretty good, and we have some pumpkins along that line down there. So we just kind of left those, we cut that at the end because it was starting to climb up, so we cut it off. But this pumpkin patch is looking pretty spectacular this year, considering these are all volunteers. Look at the barrage. That's also volunteering everywhere. We yanked a bunch of that up too because it's just in the way, but it's looking lovely over here. So this is the left-hand garden right now on July 11th. Pumpkins, the gladiolas are starting back there. The monk's hood is almost finished, but it still looks kind of fun back there. A little bit of color. This dahlia is looking beautiful. There's a dahlia in the back there, but hasn't started blooming yet. I want to take some root cuttings from the Oriental poppy and see if we can't get that to grow. And we do have some peas that have survived the bunny. Some of them have gotten eaten, but some of them are okay. So like that one's good, but that one down there has been eaten. So yeah, we have some things. Oh, I think those are weeds. Those tall things back there. Well, shoot. I'll have to examine that today. But looks good here. And what else? The Dusty Miller bloomed after all. So maybe next year it'll be bigger. There's a pumpkin in the back over there that got put in a pot, and that is interesting. The lipstick salvia is making a comeback. This white salvia that Clive got last year is blooming now again. So from seed or from the old plants. I'm not sure which. Maybe a little bit of both. And this side looks pretty good too. The patty pans that I planted are coming up. There's one right here. And there's some in another space too, but that's also a pumpkin back there. And I've saved that melon from the bunny so far, but it hasn't grown very much. Here in the new vegetable patch, the protection for that melon is working. I don't know if we're ever going to get melons, but we'll see. But it is working. And the dahlias from Dave are looking good. We might need to stake that one in particular, the yellow one, because it looks big. Jason had to stake up this ridiculous sunflower that I don't know what's going on. Anyway, he staked it up, and hopefully it'll be okay now. But the bunnies are still getting into Jason's lettuce patch. These are the other patty pans that I planted. They're growing nicely. Potato tower. The leaves are yellow. I'm just leaving those potatoes in there. I'm gonna leave them in there till August. That's my plan. This is a no-work potato tower, and we'll see how many potatoes we get out of there. Looks like there's some weeds back there, but a lot of these are sunflowers right there, so that's pretty cool. Oh, there's sunflowers back there finally coming up. We ate the first blackberries off of the blackberry bush yesterday, and we're gonna have a lot of blackberries this year. So we're gonna have to make jam? I don't know. They were pretty good. In the former garlic bed, which actually still has some garlic in there because it's right next to the beans, I had moved, we planted a bunch of leeks. So the leeks are still alive mostly. Hopefully that'll keep the bunny out. But why does that look like an empty hole that somebody dug up? Maybe it was just a hole I didn't fill because I ran out of plants. Okay, I'll stop being mad. This is, let's see, these are endive. These are turnips. I believe those 3 plants are kale, and then the radish seeds are coming up. Excellent. I planted 2 cucumber seeds, and they're coming up. The cucumber plant I moved hasn't died, so there you go. You can move that, and I have a few marigolds and other things. So, and the beans now are, at least on the other trellis, are just as high as Jason on at least one branch, so that's great. Tomato plants are still kind of slow. We theorize that putting straw down made the soil cooler, and so they haven't had the growth spurt that we kind of expected them to have. They're growing, but slowly. They do have tomatoes on them, but they're just, we think that the straw is keeping the bed cool, so we may have to rethink that, and I might pull out some more of this ridiculous coriander. It's pretty and the bees like it, but, and look at the corn. The corn actually is making something. I don't know enough about corn. Are these the tassels? Is that a tassel? That's not the actual corn. I think that's a tassel. And then somewhere on this stalk there'll be a stalk of corn. That's all I know about corn. There, the end. And beans are coming. These beans are slower. I wonder if there's something in the soil, but the corn is, I don't know. Anyway, back to this one. We do have, I think we actually have a baby squash on this Italian squash plant. We certainly have lots of flowers. And now that the bunny can't get in, the bunny was going in between the chicken wire, the holes in the chicken wire. He just would shoot right through there. So Jason put these potato bags here to kind of keep him out, and that's working. We think it's working because things aren't getting eaten in here, so that's great. Cucamelon. That's an experiment. The back garden also is looking really good. This tree seems to be struggling. There's a couple branches that are falling down, and there's one with no leaves on it. I don't know what's happening. I don't know, we'll have to see what we can do about that. But the bees are loving the daisies. It looks like the petunias are being left alone at the moment from the bunny. And there's a monk's hood back there, the last one from our house. I transplanted it over here. The things that we transplanted over here still look good, so it's quite lovely. Some of the plants that we put over here, the verbena, is just, it's not as excited about being in the shade as it is about being in the hot, stinking sun. And it's just not as happy back here. So verbena, if you have a place that's hot and ridiculously hot and burning hot, verbena is good. If it's the shade, verbena, not so good. The peony's all done. She did her job though, and she'll be better next year too. In the right-hand bed, I weeded yesterday, so it looks presentable. The bunny is eating Clive's lupins over here in the nursery, but we do have some lavender that he also planted, so that's looking good. I'll try to pot those up into something bigger today. But it looks pretty over here. Some little flower. Everything looks really like planned and contained and where it's supposed to be. So yeah, it's not at all how things normally work. So there you go. Looks great. This little part of the right-hand bed is so difficult. It doesn't really get enough sun to plant sun-loving plants. The bunny eats everything because we had some things in there. Grows weeds. The weeds grow really well. So, anyway, I weeded over here yesterday too. So I don't know. I have to really think about this area. It's proven to be problematic. In the artichoke bed, the tomatoes are doing well, and they have tomatoes. Yeah, tomatoes, not potatoes. The tomatoes are doing well, and there are actually little baby tomatoes on there. So that's great. See, it's hard to see because it's so bright. But there are some there, and the artichoke is getting ready to bloom. We think it had a little watering issue. It's kind of sparse and dry, so try to water that a little bit more today. And the squash that I accidentally planted is doing really well, so that's great. Gonna probably have to pull those out. So there you go. But the system is still holding. The garage garden has mostly crocosmia right now, but that's great because the hummingbirds really like it. They're out over here during the day. Get sun in the morning, and then that's kind of it. So there's some kind of stray crocosmia that I'll maybe try to pull up just to wrangle it a little bit, and then we'll think about what to do with those lilies. They look nice, but they're kind of in the wrong spot, so maybe if they just get moved, it would be good. In the patio garden, which is just a riot of petunias at the moment, we also have these fantastic dahlias. They're humongous. Yeah, look at that. Look how big that is. Can you lift it? No, it's too heavy.
No.
Okay.